All right, guys, welcome back. It is Thursday, 2:30 p.m. So we're live. Instagram, welcome. Facebook, welcome. Today, we're stepping back. We've been talking a lot about entrepreneurship and kind of the methodical steps you take to getting your business idea launched, vetted, and get it to fruition. But one of the things we want to do today, step back and look at how are you positioned in your warm market. Before I even dive into it, I want to take a minute to say thank you to the community. You guys have been awesome. The questions have been great. The engagement's been great. This is the last day in August. And so we began the first week of August. So since we've begun, we have received over 1,400 views. So thank you. The content we're hoping has been, beneficial to you all from the views that I can just assume that it is. And with that said, we've gotten suggestions on ways to improve. Lighting was one of the suggestions. So we tried to make sure the lighting was right. Making sure we always start on time. So we're starting on time. And in addition to that, we've gotten a couple people who contacted us saying that they could help with videography and the music, which we don't have any music, but it's been suggested that we might want to look into it. So Garen Lacey of Black Light Recordings, we will follow up with you after this video to see what some of those improvements can be. To my mom, thank you for telling me to stay on time. I'll make sure I stay on time. And to my wife, thank you for the continued support. And to the community as a whole, you guys have been great, and we will jump right into it. All right, so today we want to look at, everybody has a market, and everybody has a natural network of people that like them, trust them, and believe them. You don't know how much you can actually gain by mining that community, and you can gain a lot. So mining the community is very important, but in order to successfully do it, you need to know really where you stand in that community. Who are you?
Randy Glover said happy birthday.
Oh yes, yeah. So there's been a lot of people who've actually wished me happy birthday. So yesterday was my 41st birthday. So thank you, and Randy, thank you, appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a lot. So I'll say this from a Facebook standpoint and talking about your community. I don't know how many birthday wishes I've received, but this is the first time from a social media standpoint I tried to take time to respond to every single person that wished me happy birthday personally, instead of just sending the generic thanks to everybody for the birthday wishes, because it takes you time to write into me. So I figured I'd take my time and write to you all. So I believe I responded to almost every person, and if I haven't, I'm getting to you. But I will also send a generic thank you. But you guys have been great. The birthday was amazing. So thanks. So that's a positioning piece in your network, even the birthday responses. Who are you in your network? Do you know who you are? In my network, I'm a connector. That's what I do. I broker connections. In your network, are you the person who always knows the business event to go to? Are you the person who helps everyone with their taxes? Are you the person people come to with problems? Are you the person that can just hear any scenario and kind of link the pieces together to make it make sense to others? Are you the parent? I mean, it's so many things to go down, a list of that I could go down that I'm not. But you should know who you are. The reason why you want to know who you are is because depending on your position, it really ties into how you establish your business. It's direct parallels that may exist. Like if you're a problem solver, but you're going into a business that doesn't engage anyone, doesn't solve any problems, how long will that be sustainable? Does that model work for you? It probably doesn't. If you're a person who likes to listen to people, are you a listener? Are you going into anything that requires you to be an active listener? And if you're not, then you might be missing a boat, or you may be more successful if you went to that particular marketplace. I'm gonna just take a minute, and everybody, if you wanna give me any type of question, or if you want to tell me who you think you are in your network, I'll actually put it on the board and do a mind mapping exercise to kind of tell you what you can do with that community. But I'm just going to say me. And so for me, I know I'm a connector. I'm a person that you may come to and say, I have a business idea and I want to sell widgets. I like to say that a lot. So someone comes and they want to do these widgets. So now we're talking about widgets. And in that natural community, they may already know, so this is them. I may be able to help them figure out that in their community there's already a manufacturer that they know. The manufacturer may be somebody they went to high school with. It might be somebody they went to college with. So let's just say school. And then there's another person that says, oh, well, you know what? If you're going to make widgets, you might want to get a patent on the way you do your widgets. But they know at their previous job that there was a person there that worked for a patent and trademark office. So now, of these people, these are two resources that we found that can help them get those widgets to the marketplace. Just by looking at how they're positioned in the actual market. The positioning isn't something that you purposely did. In most cases, your position within your market happened organically. It's who you know, who you engage to work, who you may have befriended throughout your career. Those people definitely come back to be very useful. So as you move through life itself, you've heard the term "don't burn your bridges." It means different things to different people. Some it means just don't leave with a bad reputation. Others it may be a more heightened thing that they try to avoid. Basically, when I say walk through life knowing that the possibility exists of needs later, walk through life knowing that if I come back to this environment, to this group of people, are they going to see me as somebody they want to help, or are they going to see me as somebody who probably they just want to stay as far away from as possible? As you move, you also want to be cognizant. And I don't want to dive too deep into any one particular business side of it because it works for any market. And actually, it works not only for the business marketplace, it works for people. I mean, if you know who knows who, that's powerful. I'm going to say it again. If you know who knows who, extremely powerful. Do you know who knows a good plumber? Do you know who in your network who knows a good attorney? That's more important than just knowing the attorney because you're always able to go one step beyond your immediate circle to get to not only your friend circles, but your friends' friend circles. Then you start to drift into affiliates. If you're positioned as a person who just knows, all right, like let's take for instance, I went to high school actually with Garen Lacey, who has now come back, and Garen and I are great friends, in full disclosure. But I'm positioned in that circle as a businessman. Most of my friends know I'm a businessman. So when things come up, they're happy to engage me with what they can do to assist me growing my business because I've established myself as that person. I know a lot of accountants. I know attorneys. I know graphics designers. People in my fraternity have often asked if I need anything developed in my company. They know what I do because I've talked about it. You have to actively talk about what you want to do or what you wish to be one day. So this is very important. If you don't actively discuss who you are, people won't know. And you'll spend a lot of time. And I've actually consulted a number of people who we start talking and they're saying, you know what, I need somebody that can do a website for me. And I'll ask them, who in your market or in your national market do you know that does websites? Because they didn't know their market, they couldn't answer that question. So then we're going into, a very cold marketplace to find them a person that does website development who's going to charge them as if they don't know them. Positioning yourself within your own marketplace can actually help reduce costs. It's not just a function of good friendship. It's not just a function of, oh, it's a cool thing to do. It's actually a function of economics. If people like you and they own the companies, they're more willing to give you price point discounts. If people know who you are and they're going to give you a direct referral, they may call ahead to that referral and say, you know what, it's actually a good friend of mine. Take care of him. It all comes back to what people think about you and how you engage your community. Let's look at me again, for instance, I'm just using it because it was yesterday, the birthday wishes. Going back through, you can't do things just to get something. So I didn't go through and say thank you to everybody because I was like, you know what, later on I might need something. I went through that list and said thank you to everybody because now, for once in my life, I'm realizing how much time it takes for them to stop to say happy birthday. So for me, I'm like, you know what, let me return that courtesy and take time out of my life because they took time out of theirs to say thank you because I genuinely am appreciative of what they did. So as you position yourself in your warm market, be genuine about it. You don't have to like everybody, and I'm definitely not standing here saying everything you do, be great friends with everybody you engage, because it's not a reality. It's not possible. But I am saying, as you move through life, you just do what feels good and think about the fact that you can continue to build. When you're retired, you can still build. When you're building your company, you can, be cognizant of who you're building relationships with. I'll say this. As you build your company, and this is for anybody who's in business, you want to think about who is a great bookkeeper that you've known along the way. You want to think about who you know that's very savvy in social media development. You want to think about marketing people. It's different. Social media and marketing isn't necessarily the same thing. It could be very closely related, but it's not necessarily the same thing. You want to look at, patent trademarks. Oftentimes is very important to entrepreneurs. We develop new things, new thoughts, products all the time. And then you want to look at, do you have a general business advisor? Is that in your network? Are these people in your network? Because if you don't, and you're thinking of all these new ideas, are you fleshing them out with just yourself? I think 2 series ago, we talked about team building. Team building is part of positioning yourself within the warm market. Because the team that you most closely affiliate yourself with, it could be a B&I group, it can be a mastermind group. And if you guys have not had interaction with a mastermind group, it's something that I do suggest we all do. It may be with your sponsors. Sponsors and mentors are different. So if you have a mentor, it may not be the same person as your sponsor. If you want to know the difference between the two, just shoot me a DM and we can talk about it. But all these people boil down to your warm marketplace. And it sounds funny.
Beverly said, what you're saying is so true. More people need to hear this. I'm sharing.
Well, thank you for sharing, Beverly. And so Beverly, she's part of my warm market. And so that's one of those things. People from my market are actually watching this because I position myself as the guy that's going to go live at 2:30 on Thursdays, every Thursday from here on out. So you guys are becoming part of my warm market. And if I engage you properly, you'll continue to be part of my warm market. And there may be services I can provide, or there may be services that people I know can provide. So Beverly is a tax litigation attorney, and she also does tax planning services. Maybe somebody out there needs assistance with their taxes, and that's somebody you always want to refer from. You don't want to go to Google and just find the first person you see. You want to refer for somebody who's reputable, who's going to actually do a great job. Beverly's that person. So, people in your marketplace then become your support system. And without a support system, entrepreneurship is really hard. And there are days where you feel like no one understands you. No one cares about the struggle of an entrepreneur because, a person who works a traditional 9-to-5 sees it as, oh, you can do whatever you want. You can go through life. If you just want to stop working today, you can just go to the beach. Yeah. But you won't get paid unless you have systems in place that are automated and can run themselves. And that's in part, somebody in your market may be able to help you do that. And I'm not saying you don't go out and you actually hire professionals that you don't know. You will not know every single person in your marketplace, and not every single person in your marketplace is somebody you want doing your business or even providing a service for you. However, it's a great place to start. And then, in this positioning piece, right now everything's about social media. I'm on social media right now. We have Instagram, we have Facebook, and all of these videos are transferred over to our YouTube channel later on. I've gotten calls from people who view these social media outlets, weeks after we've done the first one, and asked me to come speak places, or a couple people asked me to speak to family reunions about entrepreneurship and just things that were just odd to me. But because my network is growing and I position myself as that person who knows and is willing to give information to people, I'm now being contacted to consult. Kawan, you guys can't see him behind the scenes, but Kawan Glover, he works with me. He's started providing business consultation to friends of his natural network. He's 20 years younger than me. So, it's now starting to become something he's very cognizant of. And because he's positioned himself very young as a person in his warm market who understands business and is willing to help people who want to know more about business, people are contacting him. And they're contacting him, setting up legitimate appointments to build their companies. And he's providing consultation. I think has been great counsel to these individuals they wouldn't have got otherwise. There are resources like the SBA, Women's Business Council, business incubation centers, local chambers. All these are great places to start building a warm market. And don't lead into your marketplace asking for what they can do for you. Nobody wants to hear that. If you come into a market and you're selling, unless it's a person who absolutely needs the product or service you're selling, you kind of become that person. You're that person they don't want to talk to. You're that person they talk about behind your back. You're that person that, just becomes the outcast because they feel like you're always selling. And that, that speaks very intimately to what area of business you're in. Are you in a business that is connected to your passion? And we talked about that. I think it was, part 2 or 3. It was, aligning your passions with your skill set. If you're not aligning your passion to your skill set, you always feel like you just have to do the business because nothing about the business is pleasurable to you. And that's one of the biggest reasons why you absolutely don't want to become that person. And building that connection, it has to be some affinity-based relationship that makes sense to not only you, to the person that you're connecting to. Markets, warm markets, cold markets, it really doesn't matter. If you are just coming in like a bull in a china shop, people want to stay out your way. If you go to these local chamber meetings, go to learn about the people. Go to learn about, what needs the chamber itself has. If you're a fraternity, sorority, and you haven't been to a chapter meeting in a while, and you want to get involved, or you want to just start going to events and getting back into the community, get back into the community. Learn, what outreach programs are they doing. Go, participate. Start to talk to people about what's next, how you can help. I promise you, as you become a resource to people, people will become a resource to you. But you have to actively discuss who you are and truthfully discuss who you are. If you're in any business where you can't say what you do, or you have to trick a person into having a meeting, you shouldn't be in that business. If you can't go into any room, any place, and say exactly what it is you do, you have to second guess what it is you do. So own it. And if you're passionate about it, you will. You won't be able to not talk about it if you're passionate about who you are. In your marketplace, I've been told a lot of times, I've actually had clients who said the reason why they chose me over another advisor was because of my passion, and they can hear it in the way I speak. I didn't think that it came out in such a fashion, but apparently it does, and I am passionate about it, and I do actively talk about it, and therefore the position I have within my own market is that guy who really is serious about growing his business, and I'm also serious about helping people grow their businesses. So, that's the bulk of it for today, and that's the lesson I want really everybody to walk away with is, walk in your passion, walk in your passion, establish yourself within your warm network as the person who does training for high school track athletes. If that's what you want to do, be in that marketplace. Go to track events, talk to coaches, put flyers up at apparel shops, whatever it may be. Walk in that. Once you walk in that network and you walk truly with passion and a desire to help that community grow, clients will come to you. If you actively continue to talk about what it is, you're doing, why you came. I came because, I wanted to start training high school track athletes so they can become faster, stronger, whatever it may be. People will respect that. And then at that point, then they look at your skill set. That's going to go back to, passion versus the skill set. If you're passionate about it and you're skillful in it, yeah, they're going to hire you because it makes sense. And they're actually going to pay you because you're going to tell them there's a fee for your service. You don't say, oh, just show up and we'll work it out. No. Yeah, it'll be a fee. Maybe we do a discovery between the athletes to figure out what that is, but you have to work out a fee model. Fee models, understanding how you get paid, that's something we can do later on. And before you even get to that level, I would say you want to figure out what your business model is going to be. And that's something that, like a Kawan, like a me, like maybe somebody in your own network that does that, or you may know a person who knows a person can help you get that done. You want to do first. I talked to a mentor of mine last night, and he was saying that oftentimes people who leave corporate America, they immediately go into business ownership and they skip being self-employed. And I didn't understand what he meant when he said it originally. And, he continued to talk and I listened to what he was saying, and it kind of resonated with me this morning when I woke up. We go from, let me see. Give me a moment. All right, so a lot of us go from employee straight to business owner. And I think most of us think that's the way you do it. You quit your job and you go start a business. And when he said, we don't stop to become self-employed, we end up with a lot of debt, with a company that's difficult to control because we didn't really mature with the transition, and now we have bills and requirements that we can't get away from, and that's something that because this person's in my network and I've talked about what I wanted to do, and he saw holes in the way it was actually one of my clients in particular we were talking about, but the way the person was positioned, he gave me advice to make them a better person, and they're going to receive this advice never having met my mentor. And that's because my network knows, they know what I'm doing, and they know to kind of engage me, and they're willing to give me solutions for people they've never met. You guys may have people in your network that can do the same things for you, but you have to talk about who you are and what you do. And just as a general thing, I just want to share this. I think is a great point. For those people who are employees right now, there's a lot of people maybe watching at work, or they have a day off, I don't know, or going to watch this later on. You may be employees. Don't necessarily want to jump straight from employees to a business owner. And when I say business owner, let me describe what I mean, because I know a lot of you guys if I'm self-employed, I'm a business owner. You are. You own your job, but you don't necessarily have a business to run. Owning your job and having a business to run are different. So, and it's not a bad thing to own your job. Let me be very clear. To be self-employed, this may be a person, a realtor, or a financial advisor. It could be a consultant on a multitude of different levels. You guys don't necessarily need employees. I don't necessarily need employees in this space. So as you operate, your overhead costs are reduced. If your overhead costs are reduced, you can enjoy this area of business longer and build up your reserve, your operating capital. So when you get to a point where you're a business owner, you have an office that you're paying rent on. You have employees who you have to pay a salary. You have external costs, that just add to the total load of what, the costs are in that shop. This is when bills hit hardest. And if you enjoy and build yourself in this area, you move into business ownership much easier and the pressure is reduced. And that's something that I learned from talking to somebody in my network. You can learn it if you engage your network. I'm sure it's a lot of, you might be the person that already knew this in your network. And you might want to share it with someone that you see coming up, or you see them building a company or getting ready to step out on faith and, build the business they've been thinking about all their lives. And you tell them, you might want to stop for a while and just be self-employed. Don't worry about getting to the, hardships or the requirements of business ownership so quickly. I mean, it's a place we all, endeavor to go, many of us, because not everybody does all things. But don't forget about this step in between. And for everyone, this is everyone, if you're leaving work, if you're self-employed, if you have a business, your network is still hugely important. And just because you pay somebody doesn't mean they're not part of your network. I know I work in the realm of advisors, so a lot of my colleagues and peers are advisors to other companies. And I think that people believe because you're paying somebody, you don't necessarily have to care about the relationship. You still have to care about the relationship because maybe one day you need to know who they know. And because they make a phone call to their market, it now became part of your marketplace. And if you treat them the right way, or if you at least show that you appreciate the work that's being done as opposed to, I pay you, you have to do it, or I pay you so I don't care, that comes back to bite you because they may refer you out to somebody, but they may call them ahead of time and be like, I'm sending you somebody. Hey, do what you got to do to make your money because they don't have a relationship with you at all. So just, be very careful how you treat your marketplace and your warm market especially, because for those of us who have ever done cold calling, I think it sucks. So I don't know how you guys feel, but it's not something that most people enjoy. And if you don't have a warm market, cold calling is where you will end up, or you may end up just not succeeding in your business. There's always networking. There's always events to go to. Go to them before you need to be at them, because you want to establish yourself as someone they like, know, and trust. So that's it for us today. It's been great. If you want, you can find us on IG at Alpha Business Nation. You can find us on Twitter at Alpha Biz Nation. That's Biz, B-I-Z. And you can find us on Snapchat at AB_Nation. On LinkedIn at Alpha Business Nation. And on YouTube, just search Alpha Business Nation. You should be able to find us. And you guys know that we have our FB group, so Alpha Business Nation group, and we have an Alpha Business Nation page. So find us there. It's been a pleasure.